episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host, Gungu Mildred, and I'm so happy that you have joined me on another Wednesday for another review. Now, before we get into the review, I'll just tell you something, confess that this is another morning recording because I don't know what has happened. Since I came from the village, I've been like my sleeping pattern has changed again. So usually I used to sleep like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or something like that. But now my sleeping pattern has changed that I think because of the travel jitters I had, and I'll tell you the story from my travels for Saturday, so watch out for that. I woke up at 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. So I was up from 4 a.m. So by the time I got back, I was so tired and it was a long day of just traveling. By the time I got back, I was so tired. I just freshened up, made my dinner, ate, and I was asleep, I think, by 9 or 10. Like it was so early. I shocked myself. I couldn't, like, I couldn't believe it. And then the next day I was up by either 8 or 9, I don't know, and I was tired. And then I did all of these things, like I washed my duvet because people usually wash them in December, but it was raining in December, so I left mine for January when it's sunny. And so I washed mine and did a little thorough cleaning in my house because I hadn't been here for a week plus. And then I took a shower. Actually, I exercised as well, and then I took a shower. I've been trying to stick to such routines, like doing exercise a little bit here and there, just to keep my body moving. As I told you, I'm trying to work on my losing my weight because it's crazy. But then it's also crazy, like just having to tell myself that I have to exercise every day. There's a reason why people usually need like a companion, like a, what are they called? Like a partner who keeps reminding you. There's a term for it. I've forgotten it. I don't know. But there's a reason why people keep them around. Like they need them so that they can help you keep doing it. And yesterday I was bargaining with myself. And this is usually the problem. Like I start exercising, first week I'll be good. And then the second week I start telling myself, but I practiced the whole of last week, exercised the whole of last week. Why can't I just skip one day? And then I skip that day. And then the next day I'm like, but I didn't do it yesterday, nini, nini, evo. And then I start procrastinating and that thing just ends up going nowhere. But this time I'm trying. Like yesterday, you should have seen me praying to God, telling him just to give me the strength to do it. And even when I did it, because again, it's in your mind, because I didn't want to do it, even though I was doing the exercise, I didn't I don't know. I didn't cover all the steps that I needed, and it was crazy because when I started, my energy was high. But yesterday I was so tired. I just didn't want to do it. I don't know. But I have so many things I have to do because, like today, I have to record this. I don't know if I'll be able to record the second one because I don't know if you can hear in the background. My neighbor is up and she's preparing for work. She has a gospel music going on. So I hope you can't hear it, but if you can, I'm really, really sorry. There's nothing I can do about that. And then if I can record both, I will. But if I can't, I'll just record the one. And then I need to edit it. I also need to bake and take them to the shop. I need to do a couple of other things and maybe write a page or two, continue with my story before boss, because I really need to finish that for Monday next week. Because yesterday an episode came out. That is Monday, an episode came out. So I've been busy since I came back from the village, but my sleep has been coming like at around 10, 11, 11:30. Yesterday it was at midnight. And I was busy during the day. Then I watched the movie. And by the time it was getting evening, I couldn't record in the afternoon because there was a lot of noise outside. As I said, the construction that is happening in my neighborhood. And then in the evening, people are back home, people had music on, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't record. That's why I used to wait until, midnight, like 1, 2 a.m. to record. But now because my sleep is coming early, I think that if it doesn't go back to how it used to be, and I hope that it doesn't, because I actually prefer waking up early and going to bed early, because this going to bed late is just crazy. People are waking up to go to work and that's when you're going to sleep. And I'm not working to make money. Like, that's crazy. If I'm making money, that's okay. But if I'm not making money, then that's crazy. So I feel like on the days that I have to record, I'll be waking up I'll set an alarm for either 5 or 6 a.m. when it's still quiet, when there's no music from my neighbors. People will be going up and down the stairs because they're waking up to go to work. But that is something I can work with. They can chill for like a minute or two until they go down the stairs, and then I can continue recording. But like right now, if I don't record it at this moment while there's music playing, by the time she leaves, actually it's the music that's praise, and then she'll start listening to some sermons, and then that will be even crazier because now she'll be talking. And then after she's done some more music, and then she leaves for work. By the time she does that, the construction people will now be here, and they'll now be doing their thing, which will be even crazier. So I can't wait. I have to record now. But I'm thinking, as I was saying, the days that I'm recording, if my sleeping continues like this, I'll have to wake up at around 5 or 6 a.m. to record, and then maybe go back to sleep for an hour or something, so that I don't ruin my sleeping pattern completely. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll figure a way out. And on those days, I'll be recording 2 episodes in one day like I used to, because I'm used to recording like 4 episodes in a week. But you see, now I've already done this like on Tuesday, and I have so many other things that I need to do today. And then I think the other one, I'll watch it either today or tomorrow. Actually, I'll watch it tomorrow, and then I'll set the alarm for early Thursday morning, so that I can wake up and record the other episodes for next week. This way I'll be ahead like I used to be, because this one, I'm cutting it too close, and I don't like it. I don't like this last minute thing. I procrastinate a lot, and then when it's last minute I do things perfectly, but I don't want to rush myself with this, because editing is a madness on its own. If my laptop decides not to work, if something happens, if Wi-Fi goes off, then I'm doomed. So I can't do procrastination with this. I have to do them early enough and put them up. Like, I don't mind even putting 3, 4, 5 weeks ahead. It's okay. But I have to do that again. So yeah, it has been crazy since I came back from the village. But today is Tuesday, and this episode is supposed to go live tomorrow on Wednesday. So forgive me for the background noise. There's a chicken somewhere that keeps crowing. Yeah, there's that. And then there's the music in the background in my neighbor's house. And then there's my fridge. I have not switched it off. So please, this one is not going to be perfect, but I promise it's going to be one of the last ones. Like this week is going to be one of the last ones that are going to be this crazy. The other ones, I'll try to take them back to normal. So on today's episode, I'm going to be giving a review of the Kenyan Nigerian movie Plan B. Plan B is a 2019 Kenyan Nigerian rom-com written by Lola D, directed by Lola D, and produced by Sarah Hassan. The cast include Daniel Etim Effiong, he plays Dele Koka, Sarah Hassan plays Lisa Waweru, Catherine Kamau plays Joyce, Lenana Kariba plays Ethan, Mary Gasheri plays Grandma, that is Lisa's grandma, Justin Mirichi plays Dele's lawyer, Zara Kassam plays Sarah, she's Dele's secretary, and Chantel Naisola plays Mumbi, that is one of Lisa's clients, amongst other cast members. Now, if you like spoilers like me, continue with this. But if you do not like spoilers, please leave. Go to YouTube, not to Netflix, to YouTube, because that's where the movie is. Go to YouTube, watch it, and then come back and tell me if you agree with me or not, because this is the official spoiler alert. Now, Plan B follows the life of Lisa. Lisa is a beautiful lady. Of course, you know Sarah Hassan. She's beautiful and everything. So it starts with her in a restaurant with her boyfriend, that is Ethan, played by Lenana Kariba. And I don't know, I love Lenana Kariba. There's the show he used to play in when I was growing up. But then this show that I saw him on, like seeing him again on Plan B, reminded me of the other movie where he was with Lani again, Sarah Hassan again. They usually pair up. That's good. But he wasn't so good in that one as well. It ended up with him being sort of nice, but he was also a character there. And then again on Sense8, he was also a bad character. And again, like I keep remembering him in bad situations. So I don't know, but I love him. I just hate the characters he plays sometimes, and I don't like that. But yeah, so he was a bad boyfriend. He surprises her by telling her that he's leaving for France in 2 days, like he's breaking up with her and leaving for France in 2 days because she is too nice. And he doesn't like that. He likes crazy and all of that, like Kenyan men. They say they want a wife material. They want somebody who's quiet and calm and blah, blah, blah. But then they marry that and then they start mistreating them and cheating on them because they are interested in the crazy ones outside on the streets. Like it's just crazy. So that was Ethan. Ethan breaks up with her because she's too nice and she gives in too way too easily and blah blah blah. So she tries to behave like he's not telling her what he's telling her, but then he insists, and so she goes on a crazy thing. She goes to a club and gets drunk. And then while she's getting drunk, she was just taking shots. While she's getting drunk, she was sat at the bar. And so Dele is sat at the bar as well, on the like next to her. He moves closer and they start talking and they flirt kidogo and blah blah blah. They end up in bed. In the morning, she wakes up alone in the hotel room. He's already left. And she leaves and goes home. And actually, she was woken up by the concierge or something. Like somebody from the hotel was waking her up, like, do you want to extend your stay because it's $400 per night or something? And she was like, hey, no, I'm leaving. So she leaves and goes back home, talks to her best friend, Joyce, played by Catherine Kamau. She always brings the comedy. Like, the only movie I saw her really serious in was Nafsi. I really need to see her in another one like she's that serious, because her character is always the same. On Disconnect, like she always brings the comedy, which is good. But yeah, so Joyce asks her like, what are you saying? You had a one night stand with a stranger, and she's shocked. Like, did you use protection? She does not remember. Do you remember anything? No. So anyway, Joyce is at work one day and Lisa calls her and she's like, she's still crying about Ethan. This is like a month later or something like that. She's still crying about Ethan, and then she starts puking, and Catherine is like, "Sasa tutaambia nini watu?" Like, it was just a funny thing she says. Her one-liners are so hilarious. So she does that, and then they realize that she's pregnant, and so we move to a couple of months later, I think, and she's big. Like, her belly is now big. Fun fact, Sarah Hassan was actually pregnant while shooting this movie, like very, very round and beautiful. She was really, really pregnant while shooting the movie, which was good for the part that she played. But at the beginning, she had to hide her tummy, blah, 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 which was hilarious. But she was big, like her body was so big, you could just know that no, this is not the regular Sarah Hassan. She is pregnant. But yeah, for those who didn't know, yes, she was pregnant while shooting this movie. So they decide, yeah, okay, you know what? We're just going to work this out. I'll work harder to be able to afford this baby. So she has clients. She's a stylist. And she has clients. She goes from home to home, shopping for them and then taking the clothes to them and stuff. So one of our clients, that is Mumbi, played by Chantel. So she goes to her place and she's dressing her, nini nini. Mumbi is trying on the clothes. And while she goes to get the money, Lisa sees a magazine on the table. She picks it up and the person on the cover is Dele. So she takes a photo of it, and when Mumbi comes back with the money, she just takes it and goes back home running. Actually, she goes and shows it to Joyce, and she's like, "This is the guy that I slept with. This is the father of my baby." And Joyce is like, "How sure are you?" And they talk about it, and she goes like, "You have to go and confront him and tell him, because raising a baby is very, very expensive, and this guy is, Nigerian rich. So you have to go and make sure that he knows that he's the father of the baby so he can help out. Lisa tries to refuse her a little bit, but then she goes. She goes to the office, and there she meets another character. That is Sarah, played by Zaha Kassam. Now, this lady, she's a beautiful Indian babe, but the thing is, it's the way she was talking. Her eyes are so intense, and it's the way she's talking, like talking back to Lisa. At first, she goes like, "No, if you do not have an appointment," because she was very nice actually. At first, she was like, "Yeah, if you have an appointment, yes, of course." And then Lisa goes like, "No, I want to tell you something, like from a girl to a girl, like a woman to a woman thing." And he is the father of my baby and he's refused to take responsibility. I just want to talk to him, blah, 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 blah. Sarah changes and goes like, "You know what? Yes, I'm going to help you out because men like him should not be allowed to, I don't know, blah, 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 blah." It was like a whole thing. And I was like, "Oh my God, you are the secretary. You're not supposed to do that." You will lose your job. But then, yeah, she goes into the office and she's nervous. Dele was on the phone with him, with his feet on the table. Yeah. So they talk. He finishes his phone call and then she's like, "Okay, so there's a lady here and she's saying that she's pregnant with your child." And he goes like, "How many years have you been working here?" And she tells him like 2 years. "And how many women have come here since you've been here?" And she goes like, "6. And has any one of them been true?" She goes like, "No, but this one is different." And I'm like, "Yo, you take your boss aside and unless you're being told that he has killed somebody." But anyway, she does that. And he goes like, "No, tell her to go away." So Lisa leaves, goes back home. Joyce is like, "No, you have to go back. You can't just give up like that." And so she goes back and she tries it again. And this time she manages to face him in his office. He sort of remembers her, but he plays it like, "You know what? No, I did not do such a thing. If you want, I can just give you like 5,000 USD and you can do with that whatever you want, but I'm not the father of that child, blah, 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 blah." So she goes like, he even writes a check and gives it to her. She hands it back and leaves because she remembers when Ethan was telling her that you're so nice, blah, blah, blah. And so she gets upset and leaves and talks to Joyce again. And Joyce is like, "No, we cannot take that. So we are going to go back. I have a plan B." Okay, she actually falls asleep and wakes up in the morning with the plan B. She goes like, "I know what we have to do. I have a plan B. I'm going to play your lawyer and you're going to go and confront him in his office and you're going to make him take a paternity test. And after that, we are going to do like, he'll have to pay you like 10,000 USD for damages, blah, blah, blah. And then 5,000 USD per month." So I was like, okay. So for upkeep, for the child's upkeep. So that's what they do. They go the next day, they go and confront him in his office. She plays her lawyer. And it went well actually, because he was like, "No, no, 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 no." He calls his lawyer, they sit down, they talk about it. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm insisting." The lawyer goes like, "How about we just give you $5,000 for damages and we just forget about this whole thing? Because if you're not sure that he's the father, you're going to have to pay 20,000 USD for damages." And so Joyce is like, "Yeah, well, let's leave," because she wasn't sure if Ethan was the dad or Dele, but Lisa was, because she remembered she hadn't been intimate with Ethan for a while since before he left. And so she goes back and she's thinking, she goes like, "No, I'm going to go ahead with this." So they go to the hospital, they take the paternity test, blah, blah, blah. They go back home. So between that time, I don't know, Nani, Ethan comes back. He comes to see her and he finds that she's heavily pregnant. And so he starts gaslighting her. Like that guy, I'm telling you, I love Lenana Kariba, but yo, the parts that he acts, he plays such a douche and I do not understand why. I just don't understand why. So he's there and he's like, "I came back for you and then I find this. Does the father even know that he's the father? Blah, 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 blah." And, she ended up chasing him away, kicking him out of her house, because what the hell? That guy, he was so insensitive and so insulting. I was offended on Lisa's behalf. But yeah, so he leaves. And then Dele, on the other side, he has this side chick or whatever chick that he usually sees from time to time. And he's at his home. He's going through photos of Lisa, like stalking her on Insta or socials and stuff. And then he texts her, and he goes like, "Hi, it's Dele." And in the kitchen, Lisa and Joyce, then in the kitchen, Joyce is making kaugali kadogo so that they can have it with tea. And I was like, what do you mean you're making hot ugali to have it with tea? No, ugali, you make it at night, you let it sleep, and then you have it with tea in the morning. You don't do that nonsense of cooking hot ugali and having it with hot tea. That does not slap like at all. And I'm Luya Maraguli, I know. If you want to eat ugali with tea, you let it sleep. Vugeni, any like last night's ugali. That's what you eat for with tea in the morning, like not fresh ugali. But anyway, they do that. And at the end, okay, so before Dele starts chatting with Lisa, and he goes like, "I'd like us to meet, just the two of us to talk, blah blah blah," and they discuss a time and place. And she goes like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." So she goes back, and Joyce is already eating, and she has taken the bigger piece. And I'm like, yo, I even felt for Lisa. Like, as Lisa was asking this question, I was asking it too. Like, she's the one who's eating for two, and just goes like, "So who am I eating for? I'm also eating for two. Like, what do you think?" And it was just funny. And I'm like, the woman who's pregnant is the one who's supposed to eat a little bit more, but no, not with Joyce. And so anyway, she goes and meets with him. They have a beautiful lunch. They talk from around one something to three something, and then he invites her to go and see one of his. He has, can I say, like musicians and stuff. He has a little recording studio or something like that, and he has a production company or a recording studio, one of those two things, I don't know. And one of his musicians is performing somewhere, and so they go live, and she loves the guy who's singing, and they enjoy themselves, and then she goes back home. When they're leaving, I think it was awkward when they were leaving. I don't know what happened. They didn't kiss, although they wanted to. It was just awkward. And then the way she left because she was feeling something. But remember, she's just freshly out of a relationship with Ethan. So she freaks out and she leaves. And so that leaves Dele feeling some type of way. She's feeling some type of way. They avoid each other for a while. And then the next time they meet, they go back to their lives, you know. The next time they meet is when the DNA test is being released. It's ready. They're sat there with their lawyers, Joyce being one of the lawyers. And she's a manager at a restaurant, by the way. She's not a lawyer. And so they sit down and open the, envelopes, and the DNA shows that he's the dad. And so Joyce is very happy about that. Lisa is just like, I knew it. And so Dele stands up and goes like, yeah, you'll get a check for the money that you need. And he walks out. And I'm like, really? Because you couldn't kiss, or because the date ended up being weird? You could have spoken about it. But anyway, he leaves and she goes. And then they continue their lives until one day he reaches out again. And he's like, I never knew my dad. Like, I knew him, but he was never in my life, blah, blah, blah. They talk about all that. And he wants to be a part of the child's life. And so he says that they have to be a little bit friendly. They have to be friendly in order for them to co-parent or something. And so she agrees. And so they start talking. I think they hang out again. Yeah, she goes to his place and he cooks for her. They have an amazing afternoon again. And then what ended up happening, so they had a lovely time, by the way, and they ended well. They spoke about her, they spoke about him, their personal lives, they caught up on each other. And then she goes home and everything is okay. But then the next day she gets was it a message somebody called her, or was it on the news, or was it Joyce who told her? I don't know. Go and watch it so that you can find out. Like, she gets the news that it has been announced that it's been leaked online that Dele Coca has impregnated a Kenyan woman, and because he's a businessman and he's very very rich, so of course something like that will be on the news, and like it will be gossip. and so he's impregnated somebody, and there's a sex tape, which is a lie that Lisa had told to get to see Dele the second time she went to see him. So the secretary is the one who overheard that, and she believes it's true, but both Lisa and Dele know that that didn't happen because they didn't record themselves. But then she keeps calling Dele to try and explain, like she's not the one who leaked it, or she's not the one who told the press or whoever, the gossip columnist or whatever, that she's pregnant, and he's not answering. So she's with Joyce, she's panicked. Joyce is like, just calm down, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Then Dele shows up at their house, knocks on the door. Lisa opens the door, and there he is. And he's like, are you the one who did this? And she's like, I promise you, I'm not the one who did that. I did not leak it. I did not tell anybody. Please believe me, blah, 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 blah. But he's like, he sees Lisa, he sees Joyce, and he's like, oh my God, is she even a real lawyer? And they're like, we can explain, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, nini, nini. He doesn't want to hear it. So he gets upset and he walks away. And so Lisa is left there being like, okay, sawa sawa. So I'm alone again. So he goes back to the other woman, blah, blah, blah. She sort of has feelings for him, and he has feelings for her, but they are doing this thing of, I don't know, ni mchezo tu wa tauni. I don't know what they were doing. They weren't sure. They had feelings for each other, but they weren't sure. They are still trying to play it safe or something. And so she calls him, I think, to tell him like she's not the one who did it, and she doesn't need the money. She grew up with next to nothing, and she did okay, and her baby can do okay as well. And so while they're talking, she hears a woman at the background calling him babe or something. And she goes like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. And she hangs up. And so after some time, before she gives birth, she goes to her grandma's in the village. So in Nakuru, that's what they said. And so she goes, and Joyce bids her farewell. I think she was going so that she can be able to give birth while with her grandma. And so she leaves, and Dele is at work, but he's not concentrating. He cancels a meeting, a very important meeting with a very, very important client. And he goes to find her at their place. But Joyce is the one who's at home, and she goes like, he's already left. She's already left. She's going to her grandma's in Nakuru. And he's like, please take me there. She's like, I need to have a very important meeting. He goes like, please. And they leave. They go to Nakuru. They find her with her grandma. They're talking. The grandma was very happy. Grandmas are just happy when you tell them, yeah, I'm pregnant, as long as you're appropriately aged. They are like, okay, sawa sawa, karibu mtoto kituku. We are welcoming them. And so she was happy. She just questioned like, who's the guy, but she was like, I think they spoke about it. And so Joyce and Dele, they arrive, and Joyce is the one who goes to the door, calls her out, and tells her, come, somebody wants to talk to you. She goes outside, she meets him, and yeah, they're happy because they talk, and he says like he wants to be a part of her life, blah, 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 and they end up kissing. And Joyce and the grandma on the window, chunguliaring. That is Swanglish. They're in the window checking them out outside there. And so, yeah, that's where the movie ends. And it's such an amazing movie. I loved it so much. Like, it was simple. It's a rom-com, and it's lovely and it's simple. It goes straight to the point. I just loved every bit of it. I've seen Ifyong in a couple of movies. Like he does good, and a lot of them are on YouTube. I don't know why, but yeah, Lola D is a very amazing script writer and producer and director. Is she a producer? I think she's a director. I'm not sure about the producing part, but yeah, she does amazing movies, and she loves bringing them to Kenya. I don't know if she lives in Kenya or she just loves working with Kenyan actors. I don't know, because most of the movies I've discussed here that are Kenyan and Nigerian, she's behind them, which is amazing. So yeah, it was such a lovely movie. I loved it. Go and watch it on YouTube. As I said, the synopsis, this was not even a synopsis. I literally just told you the whole story. The characters, I loved all of them. As I said, I hated Ethan in this movie. I don't know why Lenana has to play such bad characters, but I didn't like him, but I loved his acting. Like, it's believable. That's why you get to hate these characters. Like, you know, a character is good if you hate them so much or you love them so much. So yeah, I did not love him in this movie. And then all the other characters were good. Everybody played their part well. The chemistry between a team and Sarah Hassan, that is Dele and Lisa, it was on point. The chemistry between Lisa and Joyce, again on point. The chemistry between Lisa and her grandma, again on point. Like, these people just knew what they were doing and they played such amazing characters. It was so amazing. The comic relief was good. I mean, it is Catherine Kamau. I mean, yo. She's an amazing actress. She's an amazing comedian. And you know, her facial, like, her face looks like a doll's. So when she does these funny faces, she just looks even more cute. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but she's just amazing and she's so good at her work. They played music. I remember just one of them, and I think that's the only one they really played. That is My Sukuti Love by Mayonde. I remember hearing it and I was like, that's Mayonde, because it has been such a long time since I did. And the last time I watched Plan B was in 2019 when the movie was released on YouTube. I haven't watched it since. So this was my second time watching it since then. And I don't know why, since I love rewatching shows, especially ones that I loved, and I really, really loved this one. So I don't know why I didn't watch it again. But yeah, so the music was that, My Sukuti Love by Mayonde. So yeah, the movie was good. That's all I can say about it. Everything was done well. I wish they could have sold it in a bigger platform like Netflix or something. They would have made good money. But I think also on YouTube, because there were still some ads, so they're still making money, which is good anyway. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, but I'll just tell you to please go and watch it on YouTube and then tell me if you agree with me or if you do not. And if you do not, that's okay. It's fine. There's no problem. We don't have to agree on everything. So yeah, please, please, please make sure to go and watch it on YouTube and then tell me here on the comment section below if you agree with me or if you do not, which I'll really, really appreciate. Please remember to like this video. Please just hit the like button right now. Just hit it. I don't know why people like, you can click on a movie on a YouTube whatever and start watching it, but then just clicking on the like button is a problem. I've never understood why. And please remember to watch the whole thing so that, you know, I can get the view hours, because if you do not, then it tells me that you're only here for like 2 seconds, and that's not good. Okay, so please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and watch. Okay, bye bye now. Love you.